Good afternoon. I'm next weather meteorologist Tammie Souza. The severe weather is already beginning to pop around the area. We want to kind of bring you up to date on what's going on. A severe thunderstorm warning right now until 2:30. This is for Carbon and Monroe counties in the Poconos, but also a little bit of Lehigh. And you can see the storms already moving slightly to the north. They'll be edging their way to the east. Now, this is a severe thunderstorm warning. This could have hail to 3/4 of an inch and winds in excess of perhaps 50, 60 miles an hour. We do have this tornado watch for the entire area until 7 o'clock tonight, and we have already seen activity to the south of us. This goes all the way down the east coast, but we've already seen some tornado warnings in parts of Maryland. We also have this wind advisory, and this is going to be going until the wee hours of tomorrow morning. We could see up to 55-mile-an-hour wind gusts ahead of the storm, not with the storm, but ahead of the storm coming in. And we also have this flood risk, and this is going to be mainly I-95 north and west. So we have a severe storm risk going, and this is going to be all afternoon and evening. Straight line winds, a tornado, flooding. The key time is 4 to 11 tonight. We'll keep you updated here. Good afternoon. I'm next weather meteorologist Tammie Souza. I want to bring you up to date on what's going on with the storms out there. We do have that tornado watch for the entire area through 7 o'clock tonight. We are seeing rain and some thunderstorms making their way up from the south. We already have had several severe thunderstorm warnings to the north and the west. Another one for Lancaster right now until 3:45. Now this one is for winds in excess of 50 to 60 miles an hour and hail that could be 3/4 of an inch or larger. Again, this is until 3:45, but you notice that line of storms is moving off to the north-northeast, but it is slowly making its way in our direction. We are expecting to see some of this storm activity moving into the greater Philadelphia area as the evening wears on. We do have that tornado watch until 7 o'clock tonight. We have enough spin in the atmosphere for something to pop up, and you can see these red boxes to the south as we head into the Carolinas. That is where we already have tornado warnings. This is the watch box for the whole East Coast. We're at the northern end of it, and this is still to come. You can see it from the south. On the back edge of this is cold enough to turn to snow. So we could late tonight see a little bit of snow and a snow rain mix out there. We also have a high wind advisory in effect until 2 o'clock in the morning ahead of this storm. Not associated with the storm, but ahead of it, we could see 35 to 55-mile-an-hour wind gusts. So be prepared for that. That's what's going to warm us up and create some of this instability. We're going to keep you updated all afternoon here. Right now, if you want to stay with us, we're going to go right on over to our digital, and we're going to keep you going at CBSPhiladelphia.com.
Hey there, everyone. I'm meteorologist Bill Kelly. We're going to break into programming here to tell you about a brand new tornado warning that has been issued by the National Weather Service for you folks that are down in Kent County, Delaware. That is where the red is. That is the tornado warning. All of this orange that you see are severe thunderstorm warnings as this final wave of this storm pushes into our area. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down, talk about this storm here, give you some tracks and give you some timing. It's south of Dover, north of Sussex County. So it's the southern part here of Kent County, and it's originating from the storm that's over into Maryland right now. In fact, I'm going to come back. I'm going to track this out for you in a second, but it's this storm right here. And I'm going to look at what the National Weather Service is seeing is most likely right in here, right in this area is what they're looking at. It's not classic, but they're potentially picking up a little bit of spin right in there. So while we have this up here, before I put the track on for you, I'm going to widen this out. Let me put in the overlay for you as well so you can see the warnings outline. Let's do this. So it's within this red box that you have. Again, this is Maryland. Here we are into Delaware. This is Kent County. So I'm going to read this for you, and then we'll track it out in just a moment. So it is until 11 o'clock tonight at 10:22, so just a couple of minutes ago. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Queen Anne. You can see that there. Or 11 miles southeast of Centerville, moving to the east, racing along, by the way, at 55 miles per hour. So this thing is moving. It is radar indicated, not an emergency manager or an emergency spotter out there or National Weather Service employee. Of course, you have flying debris potential around with that. Not good, of course, to be in a mobile home. We'll talk about those places in just a moment. Damage to roof, windows, vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. So locations: Farmington, Riverview, Woodside East, Andrewsville, Rising Sun, Lebanon, Felton, Houston, Hillsborough, and the list goes on. Griffin, Sandtown, Cordova. So let's do this. Let me put the track on, and I'm going to adjust this to 55 miles per hour and show you what we are looking at when it comes to that. Now, this storm here, I'm going to track it right kind of where you see those bright lines, and let me extend it on out for you. Okay, so if you know anybody in these areas, I want you to help us out with the coverage. Give them a quick call, let you know, hey, turn on Channel 3 in Philadelphia here, or of course our streaming app if you're watching us that way. We broadcast all of our news, all of our cut-ins, everything online there. So Denton right around 10:33. I got 10:29 here right now. Greensboro at 10:36. Fast forward about 10 minutes or so. Whiteleysburg, we got Harrington at 10:48. Houston at 10:52. And Camden right around 10:55, not Camden up near Philadelphia, not Camden, New Jersey. We're talking about down here into Kent County. These storms, and it's not just one lone storm that's moving across. This is what we've been telling you about for the last several days, for sure, well, into last week, is this cold front, as it sweeps through the area, is going to have the potential to cause severe weather and that potential of some rotation as well. I'm going to widen this back out. Let me put the radar on here for you and show you with this in motion. So this right here, this well-defined line doesn't look like a big deal. It looks very fine. Doesn't look like some huge supercell storm, and it's not. But what we have are tight winds around this, and any of these tornadoes that are caused from this is going to be we call them a spin-up tornado. They happen very fast, and sometimes they only last for a very short period of time. We've seen them before, a minute. I mean, they're not these big, long lasting long track tornadoes, but they could quickly get up to 80, 90 miles per hour EF0 stage there. But I'm going to continue to monitor this. I'm chatting with the National Weather Service over here to see if they're going to add anything to it and then be able to get that information to you. While we're looking at that, I'm going to put underneath here, let me put on the warnings that we have. So you see at the bottom in our area, here's the tornado warning south of Dover into Kent County. It is the only tornado warning that we have. However, with that being said, we do see severe thunderstorm warnings up and down this entire line. And this goes all the way up. I'm looking at our board in here. We got Berks County, Chester County, Montgomery County under the upper Montgomery County under the severe thunderstorm warning at this time, Lehigh County, Northampton County, I mean, you name it. It's along this, and so those winds are up to 55 miles per hour, 58 miles per hour, but likely 60, maybe a little bit more. There's just a little bit of spin potentially down with that one there. So goes without saying, most of you already know this, but let's bring it up as we're looking at this. What do? You get into the lowest level of your house. If you are in a tornado warning, for sure, you want to get as many walls between you and the outside as possible. If you don't have a basement, many people do not, you want to get into an interior room. Again, you want as many walls. That's what I just want you to picture that, whether it's a bathroom, maybe a closet interior, whatever it is. As many walls between you and the outside as possible, because you want to just prevent. It's the stuff usually that is in a tornado that is damaging. Winds by themselves, yes, they can be very damaging, but if you have a wind gust that now is picking up rocks and sticks and things that are in the air blowing around at 80, 90 miles per hour, if not more, that's when they could be very dangerous. So let me put this back on, take the radar off. Again, if you're just joining us, we have cut in because we have an active tornado warning right now for going down, I'm looking at this here, for Kent County and Caroline County as well. And then let me see, make sure that they're continuing on it. Tornado warning remains in effect until 11 o'clock for southwestern Kent and east central Caroline counties. They did tailor it back off places here in Maryland. And again, if we look at the radar, and there's not a very clear sign, but what you're seeing, this little notch right in here, just south of Greensboro, north of Denton. That is where the National Weather Service is likely picking up and issuing this warning, because there's just enough spin, just enough rotation right in here. That's a new severe thunderstorm warning in our area for Montgomery County. But what they're looking at is this right here. This little bit of spin. It's a little notch where you see the different colors. And on the map, the legends here where the winds are in the green and white shade. or blue, this is where the winds are coming toward the radar. When they're red, they're going away. So when you have a little bit of red right in front of the notch here, that indicates the potential for that spin. And that's, again, why the National Weather Service has issued the tornado warning. So if I sample this and I draw it out, take it right across Route 13 here, give you a new fresh track here. Greensboro, 1035. It's 1033 right now, and you see that's just south of that area right now. Now that is in Maryland. That's not Kent County into Delaware. Once we cross into Delaware, Whiteleysburg, that's at 1038. You guys have about 5 minutes. If you live in this area, anywhere around here, I want you to take your tornado precautions now. I don't ever take these things lightly. You want to just get in the lowest level of your house, get as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Sandtown, 1042, Felton at 1048, Woodside at 1051. And then you start talking about, we're going to go, again, Felton, you saw that around 1050 or so. Once more, this is Route 13 heading north and south, up and down Delaware, through central Delaware. A lot of people travel that. I travel that back and forth, go down and visit family down in Virginia Beach, the Newport News area. That's near Dover. Okay, so what we're looking at is the excessive rain that's with this as those cameras are pointing around. Is that Route 13 that we're looking at there, actually? Yeah, that's Route 13 in Dover. If you know anybody that's traveling, this is where it gets a little bit trickier. I want you to please call them if they are heading north from Sussex County, or when you have at best case scenario, a severe thunderstorm warning heading this way. Worst case, you have within that an 85, 90 mile per hour wind, if not more, that's rotating. And that's where people can get really hurt when they run into in that kind of environment in a car. Cars in a tornado, very unsafe place to be. Mobile homes, unfortunately, very unsafe place to be. They're not anchored to the ground. And so you really don't get a ton of protection to be outside or in something that is not hammered down to the ground. That's a tornado warning now for Kent County. They're continuing at the National Weather Service. Let me just see if there's any new information there that they're putting up for you. And go back to our map while I'm talking about this and looking this up for just a moment. Yeah, so basically the National Weather Service right there just kind of tailored it a little bit over and now north. So this is a new tornado warning. This is the one we've been talking about. They've shifted it up to the north to now include Dover. So the same rule applies, the same information that I've just given you, the same suggestions. Certainly people that are driving are in this now, but this new warning right here that's up for Dover, let me take a look and read the fresh information here. Is that a tree down? That's Chester County. You're getting a report of a tree down in Chester, Pennsylvania, because of course we have the severe thunderstorm warning there, which I'll get to in just a moment. That's Route 1 right there near Dover. And again, you see the rainfall. I mean, it is coming down very, very heavily. I really don't want anybody out on the roads, but obviously the folks that are driving right now are most likely not listening, even though you could have the stream up on the app listening to it. Most rotation, tracking flying debris, those obviously strong winds. Damage is going to be likely to roofs, windows, vehicles, all of those things that we talked about. Many walls between you and the outside as possible now, including Dover, Camden, Delaware. We're not talking about New Jersey at this point yet. Bowers, Woodside, Viola, Rising Sun, Lebanon, Dover Base Housing, Dover Speedway, Sandtown, Felton, Magnolia, any of these cities. If you hear that and you know somebody there or you're watching from this area, we want you to be safe and take those tornado precautions right now. Let's get a sample of the new radar. We're going to go back down and use what I call velocity data, and this is where we're tracking the motion and the intensity of the storm. So it's this right here. If I really zoom down, there's Sandtown. This is what the National Weather Service is seeing. Now, it's not a classic signature, but there's enough that you have these very strong winds right here. And if I put a sample on this one, I'm going to sample this. First, we already have these south winds that are blowing and gusting 30, 40, 50 miles per hour. Now you add a storm to it that's moving at 50 miles per hour. And what you can get along that, you see this motion. It's going to pause. It's going to go back again. As this thing's racing along, all it takes is a little bit of that shear, is what it's called, to get some spin like a top, and you can get a quick rotating wind. And whenever we get these, again, these are not long lasting, these are not long tracking, these are generally not, EF3s, 4s, and 5s. That is a new severe thunderstorm warning for Cumberland County. I'll show you that in a moment. But they're quick, and it's not something that you have a lot of warning on sometimes. At least on this one, the National Weather Service is putting it out well in advance, well beyond minutes in advance. So if you're in, once more, these areas, you have a tornado warning in effect. I'm going to put the severe warnings back on. The red shades in Kent County, let me zoom this on out so you can get a little bit of perspective as to where we are. This is where we have the active tornado warnings right here. It does include Dover on the north end. Anybody driving up and down Route 13, Route 1, you want to give them a call and let them know that they want to stay home. This is where Odessa, near Odessa. What's amazing is, again, you see how heavy the rain is, and you see that camera rocking around as the winds are blowing. Look at the ground. Look at the wind blowing all that water on the ground. So independent of a tornado warning, is still very active weather out there. Severe thunderstorm warning. I want to take a second. We're going to leave this on the screen. I do want to take a second and talk about the severe thunderstorm warnings, because this entire line of storms from the eastern shore of Maryland and Virginia all the way down to North Carolina and the Outer Banks, crossing over the mouth of the Chesapeake Bay, right up through the entire state of Delaware, over the Delaware Bay, and now including Camden County, New Jersey, sections of Burlington, the city of Philadelphia, all the way up to the Lehigh Valley, the Poconos, back into Berks County. All of these areas that you see in orange are severe thunderstorm warnings. Wind gusts to 59 or 60 miles per hour going to be likely with these storms, and we're already seeing some of these reports coming in. Let me see if there's anything new. Look, somebody talking about a tornado signature. I'm not going to talk about correlation coefficient with you guys right now. Gusts in Maryland at 49 miles per hour. I'm not seeing anything extra in terms of the reports right now. But also worth noting that in these severe thunderstorm warnings, including the city of Philadelphia, the language is severe thunderstorm warning, gusts of wind to 60 miles per hour, tornado possible. They throw that in there because, as we're watching, let me add the radar to this as well, and I'm going to put the loop on. As we're watching this front move through, it has enough spin that there could be these spin-up tornadoes that are generated anywhere along this line. And this line here, let me do a track on it now for you. I'm going to take off the warnings. Just know that pretty much wherever this is, there is a warning, whether it is the tornado warning down in Kent County or the severe thunderstorm. There's no part of this in our area that doesn't at least have a severe thunderstorm warning on it. Straight line winds, rotating winds, it doesn't really matter when we're talking about damage to your home and your property. So the fact that the whole thing is warned on is not a good sign because it means that it is showing signs of having those very, very strong winds. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to sample this whole thing out, and then I want to get localized, and we're going to go back down into Kent County. But I don't want to just focus on that because the storm is strong across the board. I'm going to take this out over the next hour and a half or so. So here's some towns for you. Allentown, it's close, if not already. Bethlehem, Allentown, Lehigh Valley, that line, the severe thunderstorm is knocking on your door at the moment. Media, Delco, right around 11 o'clock. What time is it now? 11:42, another 18, 20 minutes, something like that. Upper Darby, 11:17. Philadelphia, 11:31, based on the track that we have on this particular storm and this particular line. I tracked the whole line out before we came on and before they issued the tornado warning. I did track the whole line out at about 30, 35 miles per hour from the west to the east. And I did an update on social and I posted that. Camden, 11:37. Now this is Camden, New Jersey. This is Camden across the Delaware River from Philadelphia at 11:30 for the severe thunderstorm warning. No tornado warning issued on this for any of these cities that you see right now, but there very easily could be some localized spin in there. We're going to look at that in just a moment here. Millville at 11:55. Trenton, 12:12. So we have it in some of our northern areas here a little bit later than that. And if I just go a bit closer, let me do one other thing, and then we're going to go down to the tornado warning. Let me take a sample around the city, and I want to extend it out longer in time and say it takes it out here. Here's Ben Salem at 11:49, South Brunswick at 12:38, and Old Bridge at 1 o'clock. So we're really looking at the midnight, 1 o'clock time frame until this threat moves over. Now, what's interesting is some of the language I'm looking at for these thunderstorm warnings. Let me go back to this. they are calling it not just a severe thunderstorm warning, but a considerable severe thunderstorm warning, meaning considerable damage is possible with these. And I want to read these before I go back down to the tornado here. So they're saying 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts on some of these here, and that's why they've upped the language to considerable damage on these severe thunderstorms. So basically the entire area is looking at some very, very strong winds. This is near the Wilmington Airport. Look at the roads there too. I mean, look at how strong those winds are right now. Blowing that, that right there is severe. There's no doubt about it. I mean, those winds are moving that along considerably, just based on what I'm seeing on the ground there. So in the severe Westchester, Pottstown, Phoenixville, all the cities are Gilbertsville, West Goshen. That's the newest warning that just came down. Let's go back down here to the tornado warning, and then we're going to go look at the severe thunderstorm warnings as well, because this whole system is very similar. The only difference in this scenario between the tornado warning and the widespread considerable severe thunderstorm warning, that's an update on the tornado warning, is the fact that there's indication of rotation on this one, or the others are straight line winds. It's not that this is dramatically stronger right here. It's now extended for Kent County, and this is this bottom one here. I know it looks kind of messy. National Weather Service tailored this one back, and they've extended this lower one out. Again, moving over this black line right here is the banks of the Delaware Bay in Delaware, and of course across that you go over into South Jersey, Cumberland County, maybe a piece of Salem County up to the north there. I want to read what they just wrote with this newest warning that they put out, and while I'm doing that I'm going to put this on here for you. Get my map back up. The iPad doesn't want to cooperate. Stand by with me for just a second. I think this information is important for you. All right. Okay, here's the new one. This is the tornado warning. They're just telling that they're just continuing it until 11:15, capable of producing a tornado located near Dover. And what they're looking at here, that's Route 202 near Brandywine. Again, you're seeing the same thing up and down, and we could have a camera here in Chester County, we could have a camera in Montgomery County, up into Bucks County. It's all going to look the same, because when we're seeing right along this leading edge, let me sample this here. I'm just going to show you like what the radar is picking up right here. I mean, there's a 65-mile-per-hour wind that it's picking up on the leading edge of that. And so you can go from, a 30, 40-mile-per-hour gust, and boom, suddenly that kicks up to 60 or 70. So power outages going to potentially be an issue for you. Tree damage is going to be an issue. And of course, one of the most things I get most nervous about in situations like this is the trees and the homes, especially this time of night when people are sleeping, people are in bed. Just be careful. If you got a lot of trees around you, please just know what's going on and listen for things. If you hear those winds start going big time, maybe go on the first floor. Let this thing pass. It's not going to last a tremendous long time. It's not going to be like that for an hour or two, but along that edge, it's going to be probably rocking for 5 minutes. 7 to 10 perhaps, something like that. So if we trace this line and we go all the way up, what's concerning about this is, you see this right here? This here, what are we looking at, 202 as well? If you see right here, this is the radar. It's spinning around. You can actually see what's called the cone of silence here near Ellendale. This is our radar, the Dover radar, essentially. This storm, the leading edge, is very close to that radar. In fact, if I look at this, and I do just the distance here, the leading edge of that storm is only 10 miles away from the radar. And what that tells us is, as it's scanning, this is picking up pretty low levels of the atmosphere. The farther away it is, because of the curve of the Earth, the radar goes higher. But this here is only going to be probably 1,000 feet above the ground, not much at all. Maybe even a little bit less than that, because it's so close. It's only 7 to 10 miles away. That means that these 60 mile per hour, 65, 70 mile per hour winds are pretty close to the ground, which gives you much more confidence that it's happening, and gives the National Weather Service much more confidence that it's happening at the surface, which is what impacts you. You don't care what happens necessarily 500 feet up, unless you live in a skyscraper or something. But if it's that high, if it's 500 feet, 1,000 feet, Many times it's all the way down at the surface. Now, if it's up at 4,000 or 5,000 feet, maybe not. But yeah, so this is definitely a severe thunderstorm, no doubt about that. And again, the National Weather Service has put a tornado warning on this part right here. So let me show you that, and then I want to do some more localized tracking for you. Whether it is the tornado warning or the severe thunderstorm warning, in my opinion right now, they're all fairly similar. The only difference really is going to be the rotation and maybe a little bit faster if there's some spin with this. So this is where you have the tornado warning in these areas right now until 11 o'clock. That's what they just updated this. I'm looking at it. New severe thunderstorm warning in Philadelphia goes now until 11:30. As you can see. So let's do this. I'm going to, yeah, do I hear Yuki?
Yeah, Bill, I'm looking at your map there, and that is definitely spot on. I'm getting reports from friends down in the Dover area, just south of Dover, in Camden, Delaware, and they are reporting heavy rain and very extremely windy conditions at the moment.
Yeah, I think that those winds easily. Now, it's past, where is this? Is this Route 13? It's near Woodbrook. Now, it's past there, and you can see how the winds are different from the last camera we just showed you. They're blowing around, and the rain's coming down, but there's a very different look to what we just had on that other camera, where it was very clearly, in my professional opinion, a 60-mile-per-hour wind. I mean, clearly on the ground, just the way that it was blowing around. But that's because the leading edge is where you're going to see the heaviest and the strongest of those winds. So let me adjust something here. I'm going to put this at 40 miles per hour, and I'm just going to, we're going to go up this all the way through Philadelphia north, and I'm going to give you a localized track for you. That's the National Weather Service extending this now, the severe thunderstorm warning, into Cumberland County, and they're calling this one considerable as well. So here's how we're going to do this. I'm going to widen this out. Let me show you. First, we're going to start down where the storm is right now into the Dover area. The leading edge has passed through the city of Dover. A couple extra cities for you. Shawnee Acres, you got 10:59, 11 o'clock. That's about 10 minutes from right now. Anderson, 11:04. Slaughter Beach, 11:07. So really, and then it starts moving out over the Delaware Bay. Let's take this farther up to the north, and this whole line has severe warnings on it. It's now starting to move out of Newcastle County, but it's still raining very heavily over the Wilmington area, just past Newark. Let's take this out. I'm going to do about 30-minute intervals for you. Because again, let's say it's 10:51 right now. If you live in Chester, you got 10:59. Bridgeton at 11:09, so that's another, 19 minutes or so. West Deptford, this is another 25 minutes for you. Deptford, 11:18. We got Millville at 11:24. When I'm reading these towns to you, what you can expect is very strong winds, very little lightning. It's not a lightning-driven, it's not an electrified event. Very few lightning strikes, but very strong winds, very heavy rain. And those winds, 60 to 70 miles per hour for at least a couple of minutes, and then it will calm a bit. But that intensity is going to be there as this is on your doorstep.
And Bill, how fast is that moving to the east?
About 40.
40?
It's
40
moving at
miles per
about
hour?
40, and it's moving almost due east. It's moving from the west to the east, the line itself. This is the Delaware, that's the PA-Delaware state line. Are we looking at Interstate 95? Is that what that is? No, 92, okay. Yeah, it's moving from the west to the east as it goes across. Yeah, there's traffic lights, definitely not Interstate 95 there. Yeah, at about 40 miles per hour, and that's what I'm going to be tracking for you in our area. And we can also, as we get closer, we're going to watch this thing here in the Hyundai Next Weather Sphere across. There is some rain in the Philadelphia area that you see here, but that's not it. What we're really watching is this line back here to the west. So let me slide. It's already past Limerick and Pottstown. It's in Montgomery. Where's this? Oh, there's our roof camera. Yeah, there we go. So Philadelphia, this has actually sped up the timing a little bit, 11:14. So here in Philly, another 25 minutes, something like that. Lower Merion, 11:02. PHL, 11:09. Cherry Hill, 11:25. So you get the drift here. We're going to continue to push this through South Jersey. And this is what we've been talking about, this back edge, the final straw. Once this moves across the area, the severe weather threat's going to be over. Then we move into the next threat, which is the cold and the wind and those types of things with the snow. But yeah, this is
we're looking at this line of thunderstorms, but this all started earlier as a tornado warning, correct?
Yeah, tornado watch.
Watch
Earlier, yeah. And so what was happening there, here's some extra timestamps for you with this one. It's now to the east of Allentown and Bethlehem. Warminster, it's hard for me to say that town for you folks, I'm sorry, it's just one of those twisters for me. 11:09, Trenton at 11:36, we got Hamilton at 11:40. So ahead of this, We had these south winds, and we had some instability, it's called, and we saw some waves of energy push on through, and there was the potential for some of those to become much bigger, a very different setup than this, and very little of that materialized, which was great. The Storm Prediction Center had a tornado watch up, I mean, north of our area all the way down to Florida. I mean, it was crazy how far this watch was. I agree with that call. It was what it looked like at the time. It just never materialized other than a couple of spots, which is wonderful. There's the Poconos there. Look at the rain just pouring. I mean, it's just coming down big time. And then it's gonna switch over to snow a little later on. But now what we're dealing with is a little bit of a different story. Now we have the actual cold front itself. Behind this, you guys in Redding just had that line of strong to severe storms. Give it another 30, 40 minutes and you're going to see some snowflakes flying around. And that's what that is. So we're going from severe weather, considerable severe thunderstorm warning, looking at that on our board here, to winter weather advisory. Now, we don't have a winter weather advisory in our area. It's basically confined back to central and western PA. But doesn't mean we're not going to get a few snowflakes flying around. So that shows you how dynamic this system is. I mean, to go from, it's like, you know, this thing's just racing along, and it's called density. It's like a bulldozer. It just moves across, and this air behind it is so cold that the air that's sitting here can't do anything other than go up and over it. And so as it does that, I mean, look at that. Look at all that blue behind it. It almost looks like a bulldozer there. As it moves its way across, it just scoops the air up very rapidly. And as it scoops it up, if the winds are there and there's just a little bit of a spin, that's where you can create these tornadoes. I do that when I'm at school talks, Yuki. I have this, these 2-liter bottles and show, if it's just raining, no problem, but just give it a little spin and then suddenly a tornado develops inside of the tube there. And that's kind of what's happening out here in the real world.
But again, I see no lightning strikes, correct?
No, and the reason for that, and we were watching, Tammie and I, meteorologist Tammie, Souza and I were looking at this big time, and I just want to show you guys because I want to look myself. What we're looking at here is a cross profile of the atmosphere. These storms are actually, check this out. I'm gonna lower this down. Let me go to 3 dimensions, and I want to go back here, and you can see the time right over here. The first line is 10,000 feet. These are lower than 10,000 feet. Supercell storms would be all the way up here to 40 and 50,000 feet. They're not at all, and so they're very low, and that's why we're not dealing with lightning from these, because the lightning, you need these big updrafts and downdrafts and the friction and all that stuff. But as I scan this, I mean, look at these storms. These are teeny, relatively speaking, when we're talking about the atmospheric level. But they pack a punch at the surface. And that's, again, it helps explain why we have, that's a PA Delaware line there. That explains why we have these spin-up tornadoes, why they're not these supercell tornadoes. And that is because it's just not a tall supercell thunderstorm. It's storms that are moving from the west to the east rapidly scooping up, 5,000-10,000 feet, of course. But as it does, you'll get a little bit of spin out of that. But this thing's just racing across with the wind gusts of 50, 60 miles per hour. I'm gonna leave. Let me go back to our main thing. I want to scan here, Yuki, for a second and see if the National Weather Service has put out some new info for us. I don't see any new reports. Severe alert. Let me go back to our maps. You guys can all see what's going on here. Yeah, they're pretty much just focusing in on the warnings right now. Oftentimes what happens is they'll do the warnings, we'll get through the storm, and then the reports start coming in, whether it's wind gusts. I do want to do this, though, while we're standing right here. Let me see, top of the hour. 10:57, usually our top of the hour data comes in right around this time. I want to look at the wind gusts and see what they're being reported at the actual observation sites. So here's what we got right now. 51 miles per hour reported at the top of the hour in Wilmington. And that's at the actual observation site there at the airport. Philly, 31, but that storm is not quite here yet. You got a 40 in Lancaster. So again, we're already setting it up, 51 in Dover. So your wind gusts, I mean, take Trenton. The storm's not near you guys at all. 37, 40 mile per hour wind gusts. It doesn't take much to get us up to that severe level, which is 58 miles per hour or greater, to have it be classifiably a severe thunderstorm. Let me put this back on here. So again, if you're just joining us, 10:58 right now, our newscast starts at 11 o'clock on any given night. We broke into programming because of a tornado warning that was issued for Kent County, Delaware. Again, we still have that out until 11:15 for this one here. It is now passed over. It is past Route 13, at least that primary threat for you guys The threat for tornado is over for you folks down here in the Dover area, which is obviously the most populated area down there. But that line has moved up now.
What about our friends in South Jersey, Bill? They look like
South Jersey, that's where it's moving into. It's not a tornado warning, but right now into South Jersey, here we are. Probably right around, it's not on the Mullica Hill perhaps, seeing some of that, or at least getting close to that area. It's going up here. This is the PA Delaware border. You cut across, 95 cuts through there into Delco. It goes up here a little farther north into sections of Montgomery County, moving out of Chester County. We'll be watching places like Millville and Vineland here. This storm approaching here into Cumberland County. Give a quick time stamp on that, and then we're going to go up near the city and see where that is. It is this very fine leading edge that moves across. So Millville, you guys about 1118. Bridgeton, 1103. You got Morris River at 1122. Let's go up a little bit farther up to the north. And Philadelphia, here we are. It's right over Media right now. I'm sure that you folks update, tornado warning update there until 1107. They're going to cancel that. That's what that is. Let me see what they put on there for Dover. There was a 61 mile per hour wind gust at Queen Anne. That's over in Maryland. Okay, they say the tornado warning for East Central Kent County expires here at 11 o'clock. That's what I anticipated that they were doing there. Okay, so yeah, they're still tracking that uke.
Okay, Bill, I'm going to let you continue in just a sec. Just want to remind everyone, it is just a couple seconds after 11 o'clock. We've been on the air. Bill has been on the air for a good 30 minutes or so now, covering a tornado warning and watch in the area. This storm is moving eastward right now. Bill's going to continue what he sees right now. Once again, there's no lightning, but there's been reports of very, very heavy wind and heavy rain as well.
Yeah, so we're tracking this very easily severe thunderstorms. Good evening, everybody. If you're just joining us here, it's this very fine defined line that extends north to south out of our area, well south of our area. That is right ahead of the cold front. The cold front's moving through, basically call it the cold front, because behind it, we're going from this to snow. It's snowing in Williamsport right now, snowing around Penn State, up at State College, back over State College, approaching Scranton. But along this line, the language from the National Weather Service is considerable severe thunderstorm, considerable damage with 70 mile per hour wind gusts in spots. This is Interstate 95. We're keeping a close eye on that. The most important thing you can do is help get the word out. We have severe thunderstorm warnings up and down this entire line. I mean, there's no part of it that doesn't have a severe thunderstorm warning. This is the remaining tornado warning that is going to expire here, that's moving out over the Delaware Bay. The National Weather Service will watch it and see if they extend that over into parts of Cape May County and Cumberland County. It wasn't a very well-defined, basically part of the storm for a tornado, but we always hop on the air when there's a tornado warning, okay? But I don't want to get totally focused just on that, because this line of storms, independent of rotation, has the potential to be very damaging. And so I want to track some of these out, Yuki, and feel free if you have any questions to just jump in. Let me just give a fresh track right here. It's moving at about 40 miles per hour. I'm going to include, there's a fresh update, you just saw it jump, include the city of Philadelphia, and right where that yellow starts, that is where it is likely the windiest. So let me take it out just 30 minutes. Philadelphia hanging on to about 15 minutes from now. Camden, obviously a few minutes after that. Cherry Hill, 1126. Voorhees at 1131. So then you can track these lines. So if you have Philadelphia, in this line at 1115, you could take it and kind of, there's Cherry Hill at 1130. You can take it and kind of track that line down and pick up the same thing. So over the next half hour, we will continue to watch this storm materialize. What can you expect? Very strong winds, very heavy rain. Those are the two things. It's not a lightning-driven event. Maybe some localized flooding, but it passes by rather quickly. It's not like it's raining over one area for an extended period of time. By the way, National Weather Service I just saw on the board, did drop that tornado warning down there as expected over the Delaware, moving out of Kent County. You folks in Kent County no longer under the tornado warning. It's gonna just be a real quick hitter, and it could cause the power outages, could cause some tree damage. But you're not going to be alerted. Oftentimes with the thunder and lightning, you can hear it 5 miles away. Listen for the thunder, okay, it's coming. There's very little, if any, thunder with this at all, so I want you to keep that in mind.
Now, in a watch, that means conditions are favorable, correct?
Correct. In a watch.
Right.
And what we have, there is the National Weather Service, we posted that earlier. They did put out the watch. That is the area that you're going to see right here in pink, but the warnings are the orange. The warnings means it's happening now or will happen, and in this case, along that line, it's happening now. This is brand new. They just extended this out now to include Atlantic County. Not quite to Atlantic City, but we're going to go down to Ocean City. We'll go down to Sea Isle City. Cape May is probably going to be in that as well. Get a little farther up to the north, maybe a place like Margate in there. And then we bring it back. I have no doubt that this is going to be extended out throughout Burlington County, continuing into lower Bucks and Mercer County. I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, it has very strong winds. In fact, if we go back and we look at this product, this is so what we're looking at here, this is the radar. Radar sweeps around, and this color indicates if the winds are coming toward the radar and away from the radar. We use this when we're tracking tornadoes because you can look at a part of the storm and see if there's rotation. Obviously, if the winds are spinning in different directions, you can see different colors. And generally speaking, you can see that it's the same shade, right? We don't see a blotch of red in here, which means there's not rotation, most likely not rotation, at least where the radar is picking this up. However, with that being said, I mean, these colors, when you're looking at them, I mean, they are really ramping up 60, 70 miles per hour. The farther away the storm is from the radar, the higher it's looking up, because again, the curvature of the earth, it kind of goes a little higher up the farther away you get. But I think that's very likely that we have winds at the surface to 60 miles per hour, which is classifiably severe. It's not a hail event either, by the way. So it's not lightning, it's not hail. We're talking wind and we're talking rain. Those are the two things. Primarily the wind is going to be the issue.
Has the Weather Service given any indication that there has been any rotation, if you will? Because I haven't heard that yet.
No, not. Good. It's all been radar, and even then we were showing you a little bit earlier and put the radar back on. I wasn't seeing. There was not a clear. It was not a clear couplet. It's called. They did just come in Salem County, a 62 mile per hour gust, so as we expected. That was in Lower Alois Creek. That came in here just 2 minutes ago at 11:04. We still have, here we go, Chester County. Now this I talk about things start happening afterwards. So this came in from the Office of Emergency Management for Chester County. Wires and trees down throughout northeastern Chester County. Just more reports, let me go back. Wires and trees down throughout northeastern Chester County in multiple municipalities. So we go back to Chester County here, northeast Chester County up in here. The storm is long through, right? But now we're getting the reports. Also reports of trees into houses in multiple areas with no injuries, which is good, obviously. That's my biggest concern, Yuki, when we're talking about these, especially these later night events. Most people aren't at work. People in-house, not only in a home, but in bed.
And so many of the trees they're older and they've been weakened by the storms we've had over the last, 2 or 3 weeks with the snow and the wind and the rain.
Right,
and they're
exactly
already weak.
Right. Yeah, we got another report here in central Delaware of a 57 knot wind, which is going to be up there. 50, I'd have to do I'm not going to spend the time doing the math right now, but that's up there. That was in central Delaware. That was from the National Weather Service giving that report in there. So yeah, we're seeing these winds. So let's just go back. Let's do another track monitoring this storm that's moving from the west to the east. It is this line right here that has a severe thunderstorm warning on it. The only difference between it and a tornado warning is that the winds are going in one direction versus rotating. That's really all I want you to focus on right now. I think many people say, oh, it's not a tornado warning. Okay, not a big deal. Tonight, this is kind of a big deal, and I want you to take it very seriously, because at 60 or 70 miles per hour, as this thing's racing across, it really doesn't matter to you. It's irrelevant if the winds are spinning or going one direction, right? I mean, what you want to know, is this a damaging storm? Is this a dangerous storm? And the answer is yes. Yes, it is. Let me stop this here. Let me give another fresh track. Let me do kind of a broader line here out. I'm going to go up into Bucks County. The storm's probably right around Doylestown there, approaching the city of Philadelphia. We're going to pull it down here to Millville. Let's take it across to Atlantic City. So Atlantic City, this is midnight. You see kind of where this light. So anything within this bar here is closer to about midnight. Philadelphia, 11:16. We've been continuing to track this, and it's been within a few minutes of each other, which means the storm is moving at the rate that we're forecasting it out to be, which is roughly 40 miles per hour. Independence Hall a minute or two later after that. Trenton, 11:38. South Brunswick out of our area to the north, but that's 11:52. Atlantic City at 12:05. So anywhere within this box, so we're talking a good portion of Burlington County, all of Atlantic County, all of Cumberland County, pretty much all of Cape May County. I'm not sampling the southern part, but you're in that as well, is between now and midnight. So within the hour, within the next 50 minutes, that this severe thunderstorm moves through. And like I said, you're not going to be able to look to the west and see it coming in terms of a bright sky and lightning, because there's little to no lightning with this at all. It's just those very strong winds that are moving through the area. And there's another look, and again, what you're seeing there, all that blue, Yuki, is snow that's coming down. Wow. I mean, look at that, right along I-80. I mean, just going all the way through, back nearly to Punxsutawney.
Is the purple? What is the purple? Like snow and ice, maybe?
The mix, yeah. That's going to be the winter mix. In this particular scenario, that's going to be a rain-snow mix. It's maybe a little sleet thrown in there, but it's not going to be freezing rain or anything like that. It's going to be just the transition between the heavy rain and then the snow. So kind of that mix back and forth with the snowdrops, or the snowflakes and the raindrops. All right, so getting a local look here. I mentioned there's Doylestown right there. The heaviest of the wind just went through your area. Let's get you folks in Bucks County really dialed in here. And that's what I think would be the best thing we could do, is just go area by area to help people, help protect you and your friends and family. So Warminster, right now, within the next minute or so, if it's not there already. Northampton, we have 11:19, as you can see. Middletown, 11:26. Newtown, 11:23. We extend this out to places like Levittown, Fairless Hills. We bring it, so that'll go probably 11:30-ish, somewhere in there in the lower Bucks County, crossing over the Delaware into Trenton shortly thereafter. So there's that one. Let's follow this line south. Let's go here now into Montgomery County and Philadelphia, where it is pretty much knocking on the door right here in Philadelphia, as you can see. Do a hyper-localized forecast into Montgomery County. Oops, let me take this one off the screen. Here we go, Montgomery County, draping it down, drawing it out across, and let's just go across the river. So Philly, 11:13, keeping within a few minutes. We have another couple of minutes until this is now over the city of Philadelphia. Camden shortly thereafter, within a few minutes. Ben Salem at 11:23, Cherry Hill 11:25. And then, of course, that will continue to move areas into areas farther into South Jersey. Go deeper into South Jersey and do the same thing. Let's track this line here, the leading edge. Winds 70 miles per hour. That's going to be what we're looking at, and maybe some rotation in parts, but we haven't seen a lot of that. Deptford, 11:15. Washington Township, 11:18. Gloucester, 11:20. What does it say? 11:21. Williamstown, 11:23. Lindenwold at 11:25.
So at the speed this is moving right now, we're looking at probably an hour or so before it's possibly out to sea.
Yeah, exactly. And sooner, the farther south you are, just by the way that the shore is from the southwest up to the northeast. So yeah, let's talk to you folks in Cape May. We haven't focused so much here because it's over the Delaware Bay. Obviously, no population there. But Millville, it is on your doorstep as we speak. Let me draw this on out and just take you to Cape May and some of our shore locations here as well. That's at 11:35. So southern part of our shore locations around Cape May, after 11:30. Essentially, they say 11:45, your threat is going to be over. There's what it looks like in Cape May right now. Things are going to start rocking here in the next 15, 20 minutes. Did you see some lightning looking offshore? Did you see a little bit? Okay, so Lone Strike, I missed that one there. I don't see it on the map. So lightning, not a ton of it, but yeah, there could certainly be a rumble there as we go into this. So keep that. Egg Harbor City, 11:45, 11:50, somewhere in there. But yeah, you mentioned the northern edge. If we take the northern edge of this storm and we say, okay, when can we give you all clear from the severe risk? Is the warning over? No, the warning is not over. The warning, somebody asked, who was that asked me? Was that you, or somebody asked me?
Not me.
No, so no, everywhere that you see in the orange along this line that we're tracking is all warned. So everything in this is a severe thunderstorm warning. Up until various times, 11:30, 11:45, depending on where you are. So we're just tracking it as a single warning. Oh, the tornado warning. Yes, the tornado warning part of it is over. We have no active tornado warnings at the time. It's all severe thunderstorm warnings at the time for the potential for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. It's now over the city of Philadelphia. There it is. I mean, you can see what it looks like. In fact, let's do something here from the Hyundai Nexus. Stand by for just 1 second. I'm going to drop this track box just because I want to see what's going on outside right now. And there's what it looks like live here in the Hyundai Next Weather Sphere. And Bob, if you want to widen out real quick, feel free to do that. This is our live look at Center City, and what you're seeing is the intense rain that is coming down right now. You can hardly see the buildings from our station. We're talking a couple of blocks. I mean, we're just north of the Vine Street Expressway, so we're looking back. Obviously, that's Liberty Place there that you can see, but these buildings here in the foreground are literally 2 blocks away. They're not far at all. There it is. There's another look from it, as you can see. And so, yeah, the rain is coming down, torrential rain, along with those very strong winds, and they happen both right essentially at the same time. You get some light rain ahead of it, but then you get this really heavy rain and the winds kicking up like that, up to 50, 60, 70 miles per hour. And that is why we're remaining with this coverage. Normally, Montgomery County, here's a brand new one just came down, and this is for both all of you as viewers, but also the assignment desk as well. Montgomery County, this is from the fire there. Montgomery County took a big hit. Winds were definitely over 70 miles per hour at one point. Trees down all over the area. Power out to a lot of us here in western Montgomery County. And the person that wrote this said, unfortunately, I took damage to my home, brought my ceiling into my kitchen, cracked the roof and all. We'll survey more damage when I can. Oh, man.
That's
so
awful.
Sorry to hear that. Yeah.
Awful.
And that's somebody who is part of the spotter network, essentially. This isn't just a random viewer who said that. So this person knows what they're talking about. Oh, my. And that, Yuki, that's what I fear is happening all over the area. Those reports will start to come in more and more as this storm moves through.
Yeah, when the sun comes up, it might not look good at all.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm getting word that we're going to take a quick break and regroup here. I'll let you kind of handle that part of it. I'm going to monitor this.
Bill, you keep monitoring that. We're going to take a quick break. Our severe weather coverage tonight here on CBS Philadelphia will continue after a very short break. We'll be right back.
Coming to you from the Hyundai Virtual Next Weather Sphere, this is Next Weather.
And this has been a very active weather night in our region. Let's get right back to Bill to bring us up to speed.
Yeah, the most active time is now around the area with the cold front sweeping through, monitoring some of these reports. This is what it looks like in Atlantic City, by the way. You folks down the shore, especially Cape May, it's on your doorstep now, and I'm going to show you that in just a moment. Reading, 68-mile-per-hour wind gusts as the storm went through. Excuse me, these are the official sites and the official observations. 60-mile-per-hour wind at PHL. In fact, our peak wind gusts, as we look at this here, excuse me, there's our 60, 66 in Lancaster, 68 miles per hour. That's the wind gusts in Reading. 58 miles per hour or greater is severe. So here's what we have going on right now. We have severe weather alerts. I'm going to keep that on the screen for a second because I'm going to cough. This is all, everywhere in the orange is a severe thunderstorm warning, excuse me, that's in effect. And this is up for varying times, up until midnight, 12:15. Excuse me, depending on where you are, because of these straight line winds, 60 to 70 miles per hour. Everything behind it has ended. Here is a look at the radar right now as this makes its way from the north to the south in terms of the line itself, but everything moving at about 40 miles per hour from the west to the east. And behind this, we have snow that's falling through parts of central PA. Pretty remarkable if you think about it. So the Futurecast doing a really good job right now, showing that front line, taking you out over the next hour, continues to push out. Midnight, maybe a little bit beyond. After that, the severe weather part of the storm is going to calm down, and behind it, we'll be dealing with the next part of the storm, which is the cold and even some snow. So you folks in Reading, you had a 68-mile-per-hour severe wind gust as that severe thunderstorm rolled through. And in just a couple of hours, you're probably going to be dealing with some snow falling. Now, it's not going to be a big snow event for you, but just to show you how dynamic and how incredible this change is. Now, tomorrow morning, taking the kids to school, you're going out to work, you're driving. It's going to be cold, but it is not going to be snowing or raining or severe thunderstorms. But that next part of the story is going to be the temperatures. I mean, look at this. We're 61 in Reading, or in Mercer County and Trenton, dropped to 47 in Philly. You're already down to 34 in Lancaster. We're in the 50s elsewhere. I mean, look at this sharp drop. Pretty clear to see that cold air moving into our area. And so the future feels like temperatures. Look at this, 20 out the door tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock. Layer, layer, layer. You're going to certainly want to do that. We're not even getting above freezing tomorrow when it comes to the feels like temperature. And then last but not least, we're going to see those temperatures pretty chilly the next couple of days for this time of year. And then things are going to calm down as we roll through. This storm is not through our area right now. Excuse me. We're going to continue to track this after the newscast. We're going to go onto our streaming channel, and we're going to stay on until this storm is gone. So I want you to download the CBS Philadelphia app if you haven't yet. And we're going to be on there covering this as the storm moves across our entire area. We'll be right back.
Latest tornado warning?
Yeah.
Okay, and we are on air right now. We are back on air. It's not even midnight yet, getting close. It's 11:53, and we have another tornado warning to the northeast of us, and I'll hand it over to Bill right now.
Yeah, so what we're tracking, good evening, everybody. This is a brand new tornado thunderstorm warning. We've been on the air continuously on our streaming channel, and just within the last couple of minutes, the National Weather Service issued this. This is for Burlington County. So this is what you have right here. This is Burlington County. It's far northeastern Burlington. Excuse me, it's not in the central part. And it's this area that you see shaded in red. It's primarily Ocean County. So if you know anybody in the cities that I'll name off, it's over New Hanover right now, and I'm going to track it out for you in just a moment. It has the potential of producing, of course, a tornado and extensive straight line wind damage. Wrightstown is where it's located, or about 14 miles southeast of Trenton. It is radar indicated. Places like Toms River, excuse me, which is on the south end. Toms River is not technically in the warning part of this, but we are really monitoring the straight line wind damage part of this storm. Lakewood, Jackson, Wrightsville, Cassville, Vista, Woodruff, Six Flags theme park is in this. Obviously nobody's there right now, but you can get a perspective as to where this is. McGuire Air Force Base. I've been monitoring the what's called velocity data. Not a very clear signature, but it's right. This is what the National Weather Service is looking at, right on the Ocean County, Burlington County line. And there's the latest scan. It's now into Ocean County around Plumstead. If you are anywhere in this region right here, and let me just draw a circle so you can see. There's Wood Air Estates, 195 to the north. Anywhere within this region, Jackson, Wood Air Estates, south of 195. This is where I want you to take your cautions now. I know it's 11:55 at night. That's the center part of your house, basement if you have one. Just get as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And once again, I know I'm zoomed in. This is in Ocean County. And this warning is up until 12:15. Let me see, hold on. They just pulled that down. It just came off my map. Let me see if they canceled that here. No, they did not. I think it just got taken down a little bit farther. I'm going to put the warning back on for you again so you can see this red, and it does go a little bit farther off to the back. It goes to places like Jackson, Legler, Lakewood, and everywhere else it's in the orange, and it's why we've been on the air. Tell you what, take a look at that. I'm going to grab a drink of water.
Yeah, go ahead, Bill. But I can tell you also here in the studio, I'm getting reports out of the Trenton-Mercer County area that they're getting reports of wind gusts of 50 knots, and that's close to like 60 miles per hour. So please, as Bill mentioned, please take your tornado precautions in your home, wherever you are, because this is could be a very, very dangerous situation.
Yeah, that's what we're monitoring. And thank you, Andrea, the producer. No, I'm okay right now. If I need that, I'll let you know. Yeah, I'm just kind of tracking some of these, and what we were doing was we were saying this on our stream. All these shades of orange, you see that line? That's it. It's that line that's right kind of in the middle to the right-hand side of your screen. It's the cold front itself. So you guys in Reading and Lancaster, for example, you're dealing with some snow right now. But it's strong enough on the front end that the National Weather Service has issued this tornado warning. But it's not just that. It's the whole severe thunderstorm warning that has us concerned, because there have been many reports of 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. We've had multiple reports of trees down, power lines down, trees down into homes. That's all, this time of night I get very concerned about that, because most of you are in bed and the storm comes in late at night. It's a scary situation, at least in the afternoon. you know, it's a different type of thing that we deal with because kids are at school, people are out and about, that type of thing. But at night, it's a little bit tougher when it's late at night like this. So that's why we just continue to be on the air covering this, because it's not just this little sliver of red that you go, oh, okay, well, I don't live in Ocean County, so I'm okay. It's wherever the entire severe thunderstorm line is, and it's this right here that now just moved through Atlantic City. It's over LBI. It's heading up toward, there's Toms River. Seaside Heights is going to be here within the next probably 10 minutes or so, kind of give you some perspective. But this line right here, there's enough spin that the National Weather Service said, okay, yeah, this part here, we're going to throw a tornado on it. And basically, we're looking at winds that are rotating in addition to the straight line winds. But it's not going to be just that part that concerns me. It's the whole severe thunderstorm line. The good news here, Yuke, though, is that this part of the storm is moving out. If I track kind of the front end, look, even there, it's offshore at Atlantic City. So, I mean, here's Toms River at 12:15. So that would put it, across the bay there, around Seaside, probably at like 12:20. After that, the severe part of this storm is gone. So we don't have this all-night event. We're not going to be wall-to-wall covering the potential for tornado warnings until 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. We have like 15 more minutes, and then we're still active behind this, and we still have winds, and we could still very easily get damage because winds are gusting 30, 40, maybe 50 miles per hour. Our last observation, we're going to get actually the brand new one probably just came down. Let's check it out. The current gusts here in the area, just at the weather stations that we have access to, 36 miles per hour. That's down from 49 last hour, down from the 60 when the storm moved through. Reading, you have a 25 mile per hour wind gust, and you got snowflakes flying around. You had a 68 mile per hour wind gust as this was moving through. So my point of this is that the severe part of it, the real dangerous part of this storm, and the reason we're on the air at midnight here covering this for you, is almost over. Now we move into the breezy, the cold, all those things. But the part that really has me concerned about those 60, 70 mile per hour winds and that potential for people to get really harmed is coming to an end here within the next 10 to 15 minutes, and that is always a good news. You can see how these watches and warnings have really tailored down into this vicinity. The watch, the pink, is all lifted with the exception of just this handful. It's still in Burlington County and Ocean County and areas to the north. And this lone tornado warning here that we talked about for that spin in parts of Ocean County is now here. And you saw that just there live. They tailored back even that severe thunderstorm warning.
Just give me 10 seconds. Just want to let our viewers know if you're looking for Stephen Colbert. He's over on WPSG, Philly 57 right now. Late night with Stephen Colbert, Philly 57, WPSG. In the meantime, we continue our coverage. Go ahead, my man.
Yeah, I'm just looking here. I want to zoom down. Very strong winds. What's interesting, let me just give you a sample of this one, then I want to go and put the tornado warning back on. So this is very close. Here's a 49 or 50 mile per hour estimated wind from the radar. And here's the radar right there. I mean, it's very, very close to that. In fact, if I go to this and I sample how far away this is from the radar, let me put the distance tool on here, and I take that sample and I go to the radar, we're talking 4 miles. So it's very close, meaning that the radar beam is sweeping around. It's not looking right at the surface, but it's not looking, 5,000 feet up in the storm. It's probably looking at, a few hundred feet up. And so you have a 50 mile per hour wind that radar is picking up, moving toward the radar at just a couple hundred feet up. So almost certainly it's reaching the surface at that, if not more. And that's been the case across the board as we've been monitoring this all night long through the National Weather Service reports, National Weather Service chat, all the storm spotters that are out there, the emergency managers, the folks from the fire station, the fire departments. Burlington County tornado warning is canceled. As we said, it's definitely crossed past the Ocean County line there. Seeing if they have new reports that are coming in right now. But no, that's what we've been monitoring all night long. Just some data coming in there, not any home reports. So yeah, fortunately, good news and bad news. The bad news is this storm has proven to be pretty strong as we anticipated for the late evening hours. We dodged that bullet earlier today, which is of course good. But the one here this evening, as we kind of feared, has been very strong. And there's power outages, as you mentioned, Yuki.
Yeah.
When you were reading those off, I mean, it was tens of thousands of people when you added those all together, at least.
Just got a couple more. Lehigh County, over 12,000 people.
Just in Lehigh County?
Yeah. Berks County, over 2,000. Yeah, so it is definitely on. It is definitely on. My goodness.
Yeah, definitely on. And with tomorrow, with the wind and the cold, it's probably going to take some of those power companies quite a bit. With that many, they're going to have to go out there, they're going to have to assess the damage and get to it. It depends on how tall. If it's out because trees are down and I don't know the extent of that, but we had the one report from, I think it was Montgomery County, or Chester, one of the two, maybe both, that the wires were down. Literally, trees were down, wires were down. I mean, if they have to replace full lines, I'm not an electrician by trade, but I know that doesn't happen in 10 minutes, right? It takes time, and they're going to focus on what are the more immediate threats in terms of, or the areas that provide power to the most people and where is the biggest damage. They're probably going to start there. So if you're in a neighborhood that's on the back end of that feeder line, I don't know if the terminology is correct or whatever, it could be a while. It could foreseeably be a couple of days like we had in the snowstorm that we had just, 2 weeks ago when the blizzard, was it the blizzard? Yeah, there was a blizzard. There was power out for several days in many parts. And that was just, 3 weeks ago, something like that?
Yeah, just about. The blizzard and 83 degrees. It's just been crazy. The weather's been absolutely nuts. Who's in tomorrow, Bill, to continue our coverage?
Kate is in the morning. Kate's in tomorrow. Grant comes in mid-morning, and then I'll be in tomorrow afternoon.
Okay, but for right now, this in our region, the tri-state region, the system is?
It is out. The remaining severe thunderstorm warning and that tornado warning that they're just leaving up here until within the next few minutes. They're gonna pull that down. I have no doubt. That's in Ocean County, and it is moving out toward the ocean this end. But in technically our viewing area, which is Burlington County, Atlantic County, and areas farther to the west, our severe weather risk is officially over. We just move into the weather alert for tomorrow for the wind and the cold. It's going to be brutally cold tomorrow.
Okay. For Chief Meteorologist Bill Kelly, I'm Yuki Washington and all of our staff here. Thank you for watching. Our coverage continues first thing in the morning with our morning crew. Everyone be safe. Have a good night's rest. And our coverage, once again, will continue tomorrow. Have a good night.
Good night.